We're a ton of people hopping in here soon. So let's just go ahead and get started. So welcome, ladies. You've done this before. You've been here before. So I know Trisha said that she needed to be off camera because she was getting ready and would listen in. So I totally understand. I always say if you're indisposed in the shower or anything like that, you probably shouldn't have your video on. Other than that, we ask that you put your video on because we want you to be able to be visible to the person who's speaking. I always say on when we're on Zoom like this, it's like you're on a stage, right? So the person speaking, and if you were to turn your chair around and face the back of the room, the speaker would be looking at all the back of the head. So that's what it feels like when your camera's off. So I say, turn your camera on, even if you've got stuff going on in the background or whatever. Just keep yourself on mute. That way we don't hear any background noise. And then, of course, Katrina will let you know when she wants you to ask questions or whatever it may be. We have a lot of ladies entering in. So our Teaching Tuesday today is with Katrina Sawa, good friend of mine. We met not too long ago and just started jumping in together and collaborating right away. I'm constantly promoting her International Speakers Association, where you can become a speaker for free in her community. I promote it all over my newsletters every month. I'm constantly promoting Katrina. She's constantly promoting Lead Up for Women. That's what collaboration looks like. And I thought about Katrina again last night, and I thought, her and I need to collaborate a little deeper. There's some more things I want to do with her to help her community grow, to help Lead Up for Women grow. Because what does that do for everyone? It benefits all of us, all of you. It benefits everyone in her community. So we're going to continue putting our heads together and figuring out how to do that. But today, for today's Teaching Tuesday, Katrina is going to be talking about how to catapult your business with your book, how to become a sought after leader, speaker, and entrepreneur by becoming an author with one or multiple books. The first thing I said to Katrina when I met her was, holy cow, I want to know the story of the books behind you. Go. Like, that was the first thing I said. Like, how the heck do you have so many books? What is going on? Like, then I had one book, and I had published a couple journals, and it was a compilation book. So I really didn't feel like I did have things, but I wasn't really showcasing them. I didn't even have them behind me at that point. I hadn't set them up. And I just said, I'm really impressed by you. How did you do this? And when I meet someone that has done something I want to do, makes the amount of money I want to make, has created something I want to create, the first thing I ask them is, tell me how to do it. How did you do it? I want to learn. So jump in and learn from people. That's what this Teaching Tuesday is about. We provide this platform for our members to come forward and share their genius with you, so you can say, how do I do this? Teach me. I want to know, how do I become a sought after speaker? How do I become a great author? How do I do a compilation book like this myself? How can I put this together to where I could have my name on the front of the book? You guys might notice my feed. My name's on another book right now with my good friend Jen Duplessis, who's a member of Lead Up for Women. Helen, great. I'm so glad you said you want to be an author and speaker. You came to the right Teaching Tuesday, because Katrina's going to teach you exactly how to do that today. So I will not keep this going any longer. If you are not a member of Lead Up for Women, you definitely should become a member if you're looking to learn how to get more exposure, how to be visible, how to be seen. And the other piece of that is you get to teach one of these Teaching Tuesdays yourself. Katrina really she did some social media posts to say, hey, come check me out. But we promoted the heck out of her to get you guys here, to have over 30 some people registered today for her Teaching Tuesday. So I'm going to go ahead and hand this over to her so she can go ahead and get started. Katrina, it's all yours.
Thank you, Colleen. Hi, everyone. I know we've got a small group, so I'm happy to make this super interactive. I do have a few slides I want to show you, but I'm a very interactive kind of gal. So please get your questions ready. You can post stuff in the chat. I'm also very network oriented, so post who you are and what you do in the chat as well, and that's fine. That way I can see and let me know with that if you're already an author. Is there already authors in the group? How many people have a book? Raise your hand. I see Melissa and Kelly, and who else raised their hand? Renee and Colleen. Okay. And Trisha, you have the compilation book coming up. I don't know if you have another one in October.
I do. I have one other I have one other compilation
You
also.
do?
This will be number 2 for me.
She's in her bathroom getting ready. Good for you. That's so funny. Every once in a while, I'm I'm doing the same thing, getting ready. That's where I get the best ideas. Do you ever get the best ideas in the shower or getting ready in the morning, you guys? That's me. Like I thought I was going to run a podcast one time called Ideas from the Shower. Like seriously, I did 3 episodes and then said, nah, this is dumb and it's off brand. So I stopped. Okay. So yeah, so I've been a business coach for 19 years this August. It's super fun. I've worked from home. I can't even imagine what a job looks like anymore. Like, right? It's been so long. And I just keep evolving it. And one of the things that made me so successful right off the bat was that I have no plan B. I had no plan B. Here, I'll put my little stuff in the chat too. No plan B. I just said, I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I don't know what that looks like exactly. I think I'm going to do marketing consulting or whatever. I started doing something. What I always tell people is just start selling whatever it feels good to you today, and then just keep evolving it as you go. Doing books and stuff is the kind of the same thing. I never thought I would be an author. I had 0 plans to be an author when I started my business. 0. I thought, what the hell? It's a $20 book. Why am I going to focus on a $20 or $15 book when I can make hundreds or thousands of dollars from a client? That's just silly. Why would I want to sell a book? Like, who has time for that? Like, ain't nobody got time for that. So I did not even focus on books until I had a few mentors, and I got into some mastermind groups with some other entrepreneurs, and they were talking about being in books and speaking on bigger stages. And I'm like, oh, there might be something to this because I can get booked more. Okay, speaking is the #1 fastest path to cash. So, okay. So I started listening and watching people publish books, and that's really how I got into doing some books. And so I started doing compilation books as well. So I was in 3 compilation books, which is where you write a chapter, right? And then there's a bunch of people in one book, like Colleen's doing now. And so I wrote 3 different chapters in 3 different books, and I got on TV with one of them on my local TV station, and they said, oh, the author of the book, Power and Soul. And I'm like, little do they know I'm not the author, but whatever, I'll take publicity. And, and so it catapulted me to getting on TV, and I'm like, well, this is kind of an important thing. Like, this might be interesting to look at maybe doing my own book. What would my own book look like? I don't know. Something around love and money and this and that. And it took me 3 years to get my own book done, you guys. So don't feel bad if you're in the works. Anybody in the works of doing their book right now, like thinking about writing something like their own book, or, like, yeah, no joke. I mean, you can stop yourself all day long, like for years, holding yourself back because, oh, it's not good enough. Who wants to read my stuff? And who am I to write a book? And there's so many books out there. Like I could go on and on with all the excuses, right? You just have to stop it. Like, I have my stop it button here. Stop it. I say now I have 12 books. I literally have 12 books in print. And how? I don't know. Like I wrote 2 of my own. The rest are compilation books, you guys. I mean, I'm in Colleen's book. I'm in 3 other compilation books this year. Do I need them? No. But what the hell? It's super easy to write a chapter and get some publicity and market with a bunch of people and get some promotion to my website, get subscribers, get new prospects and leads. It's phenomenal, you guys, to do any kind of book. I am telling you, I went from who the hell cares about having a book to do as many books as you possibly can without spending a lot of money and spending a lot of time. Like, they got to be fast. They got to be fast in production. Yes, you want a good story, but trust me, you're probably going to write the perfect story the first time out. So stop judging yourself and then just get it out and write another one. Like, that's what I would say. Don't focus on one for so very, very long that you stall yourself. You just need more books, because isn't that impressive, right? You can't even see all the books behind me. Oh, there's 6 on that side and 6 on that side, right? And I've got literally, now I do 1 a year, my own compilation, my Jumpstart Your Blank book, which is fun because I get to help people write their story, right? So you can write a story. So now I have that one guaranteed every year. I thought that was the only one I was going to do every year, frankly, from here on out. But then I run across fun people like Colleen, and I'm in Rhonda Swan's Women Gone Wild book this summer. I'm in I'm like, ooh, Women Gone Wild. I have to be in that book. That's like just the title alone. Like, I want to be in that book, right? So just, I would say, if you're in doubt about why you need a book, don't be. Just like do something, get in something, and maybe every year, every other year, think about what can you be in, because it's great promotion. So Colleen is all about promotion and visibility and helping all her members get huge visibility and promotion, right? So like this class, if I wasn't a member, I wouldn't be able to talk to you about this. I wouldn't be able to be on her Spotlight member video or Mondays, or, it's just, Lead Up is great for that. And she is really great for that. So anytime you can have a promotion throughout the year, though, in your business, you might have a launch of an event, or a launch of a new program coming out, or a launch of something else that you might be launching. But having a book launch once a year or twice a year is a great thing to do too, to get more people into your world, and onto your list. So I kind of went through half my presentation. I haven't even showed you a slide yet, but I do want to run through a few key things. First of all, is this get some of you excited to like, hurry up and get your book done, right? Okay, like you can post stuff in the comment. Let me just look at I didn't look at the chat. Sorry, it was any, okay, so Helen's got a dissertation and a journal article. Let's see, Colleen, yes. Lori, she says, I am gonna have to add a shelf. My husband built these. I'm gonna have to put him to work. I want to be in the Women Gone Wild book. I don't think they are, because we're almost going to launch. So I want a bookshelf like Katrina's, right? Oh, thank you. Okay, cool. Let's do some slides. If nobody has any burning questions, because I probably will answer it, but just in case I don't know, and we only have a short amount of time. So, okay, let me just share my screen then and move something out of the way that you don't need to see. Uh-oh, what did I do?
Don't be showing us naked photos, and no surgery photos allowed.
Right. No,
I banned all my girlfriends from showing me surgery photos when they started sending me photos after surgeries. I was like, nope, never ever do that to me again, because I can't unsee anything like that ever again. So no photos ever are allowed.
I know, that's too funny, right? I did have a surgery a couple of weeks ago, and I didn't put any pictures online. I don't know how people do that. I'm not going to put pictures of me like laid up. No thanks. No. Okay. All right. So I'm sure you guys want to be the best blank in your industry, right? So yes, I'm sure that's a yes. I don't need to, but feel free to post in the chat. Let me just pull up the chat so I can see you guys. Yes, Laurie. Okay. So Colleen talks about being an influencer. We all should be wanting to be a bigger influencer. It doesn't mean you have to work harder. This is the old thing that our parents or grandparents might used to say is like, oh, we have to work longer hours and work harder to make more money. No, that's bullshit. I'm sorry. I'm going to call bullshit on that, because you just have to work a lot smarter and have different streams of income, right? And different ways people come into your world. And so to be an influencer is just to be that expert. So whether you're an extrovert or an introvert, you should want to be that expert in your industry. And experts in the industry have full confidence. Now, if you don't have 100% confidence yet, we need to work on that, right? You need to have that. You need to exude that 100% or 150% confidence in what you are super good at. I was talking to a client yesterday, and she was in a funk, and I said, okay, answer or fill in the blank. I am so good at blank. I wanted to like boost her up. What are you really good at? Right? And that is probably something you should write the book about, frankly, right? Or something that people ask you in, questions about all the time. But have that faith enough that you don't need a plan B, that you know it's going to work out, that you know whatever you're meant to do and whatever path or road you're meant to travel on, like writing a book or becoming a speaker or doing some other kind of business model, you need to just take that action and don't be scared, right? So we talked a little bit about, I don't need to, like, think about your ultimate lifestyle vision though. I always like to go here first. I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but if you want to be that bigger influencer, if you want to speak on a lot of stages and you definitely want to be in the spotlight, then you need books. If none of that really interests you and you're more of an introvert and you like to be behind the scenes, which could be for some of you, then what do you want to leave a legacy to your kids? Do you want to secretly and behind the scenes help and motivate other people one by one? Do you want to reach at least 100 people? And if you don't want to reach 10,000 people, like, think about what that is. And you still sometimes have to do some of these things that we who want to be bigger are doing to grow our businesses, meaning speaking and writing books. It doesn't mean you have to do it in the style or the way that we're doing it. Like, I say we because me and Colleen are huge extroverts, right? Like, we're like alone, like, we're huge extroverts and we want to do it all and we want to talk to everybody. And so you don't have to do it that way. Okay. So you can write your book your own way. You can be your own business person. You can do it your own way. You don't have to do it my way or her way or this way. But do know that there's ways to do it, any of this stuff that can be effective for you. So you got to get motivated though by, I save my money, frankly. You want to make more money because that you can do more good with. You can do a lot more good with making more when you make more money. So here's a few reasons why you might want to write a book or be in more books or do more books in general. Something to do with your passion, your purpose, your mission, right? Maybe it's for marketing and getting leads at events and speaking gigs. Maybe you want to sell the book because it leads into the next thing you want them to buy, which is something higher priced perhaps. You want to build your influence. You want to be a speaker. You want to position yourself in the marketplace, right? Maybe you want to take that, and it doesn't matter if there's 400 books on whatever topic you're thinking of writing. There's always room for more. There's thousands and tens of thousands of books everywhere. There's, well, millions, I should say. It doesn't matter because the people in your circle are the ones that are going to buy your book, right? The people that you're coming in contact are the ones that are for you. I don't sell thousands and thousands of copies of my book. I mean, I wish I could, but I sell, I've sold a few hundred books, maybe. I don't know. It's the people, it's the right people that need to buy my book, right? And so positioning, expert status, some people just want to write books and that's what they want to do. If you want to be an author first and then a business person, that's fine too. But know that being an author is having a business. You have to build the business around the book. And you have to have that business mindset or you're not going to get anywhere with your books. And then having systems and business models to help you. 4 big benefits is visibility. You get seen as an expert. Bookability. You get booked to grow your business if you work on that talk behind the book that can help you. And even if it's a children's book or some kind of memoir, you can still do the bookability stuff. Credibility. You can get on TV or get in your local, you can get nationwide coverage too. I've not gotten any nationwide coverage before, but I've gotten lots of local coverage. I've been on TV like 12 times, okay, in my local greater Sacramento area. Impactability, getting your message out to the masses, right? And it's all about building the lifestyle, the life you want. So my ideal lifestyle looks like this: a bunch of family time and fun, inspiring events and mentoring clients and going on vacation with my friends. Like, if I did nothing else, this would make me happy, right? So what do you want? And so I have to build a business that's going to allow me to do this. I have to build the business with enough income, which honestly, I'm still not at the number that I need to be at, my freedom number, right? I'm in multiple 6 figures, but it's not enough. You think, oh, I'm going to get to 100,000. Everything's going to be woohoo, great. And I'm like, oh no, because then you pay more people to do more things so you can do bigger things. And then you're still like, oh, now I'm broke again. Like, it's no joke. I've done a lot of different things, but the key is evolving your business along the way and being open to that evolution. Okay. And just being open to taking different steps and learning new things, and never just saying, oh, no, I don't do that. Or, oh, no, that's not for me. It's figuring out how can I instead of I can't. Right. And so I've done a lot of things, been a lot of things, blah, blah. You don't need to know all that. I'm awesome. Okay. So like some of the biggest mistakes authors make, not having clear and easy systems for what needs to get done so you can actually finish the dang book, right? And set up the marketing so you can actually sell it. And then you let yourself get too busy and distracted from these deadlines and the tasks so that it never gets done. And you simply just don't know what you don't know, and you haven't invested the time to find out what you don't know. Like, don't just go off and write the book. I can't tell you how many times someone has come to me and says, okay, my book's done, now what? Can you help me market it? And I'm like, well, you don't even have a place in the book where you're taking them to your website. Like, how are they, if someone buys your book, how are they going to get on your email list? Well, I don't know. Like, we got to think about every little piece and how it all flows together, right? And so that's what my brain does. It looks at that whole big picture about how everything you're doing flows together and how all these little teeny tiny tweaks you can make so that you can make the best impact on every little thing you're doing, and you're not wasting time and money in the wrong places. So 3 critical keys to success and money as an author are clarity and positioning, organization and systems, and consistent marketing and sales. You would think it would be writing a good book. No, that's not it. Because honestly, like, I assume you're going to write a good book, and you can get editors to help you write good books. You can get some content editors to help you with it. You can get ghostwriters to help you write a good book. But, and I can help you write a good book if you want to. I'm really good at seeing the readability. So the readability of a book is important. Don't get me wrong, but it also has to have these things in here. You have to intertwine some of the salesy stuff inside the book. Even if it's a story book or something, you want to have some planting seeds along the way to get them to another a result. So anything you do in your marketing should lead to the next thing. So even a free thing on your website should say, okay, great, here's your free thing. Now you want to do this, and you want to take this step. So your book needs to do the same thing. And so before I even write a word of the book, I think of, where do I want the book to lead people? I think of the end first. Where do I want the book to lead people, and what do I want them to do throughout the book or after the book? And then I'll go back and reverse engineer design that book in the writing and the content in order to get the result that I want. Now, it doesn't always work, right? But I've had people read my Love Yourself Successful book, which is probably my most popular because it's all about mindset and loving yourself. And it talks about toxic people and getting them out of your life. And and I've had people read this book and then immediately come to a call with me and sign up for my high-end program because this is my story book. So this is my story book where I talk a lot about my story, but give some tips. Whereas this is my system book here. Maybe I should stop sharing real quick. This is my system book. So this was a training that I did for $4,000. I did a group program. It used to be in 2008, 9, 9, and 10, and 11. I would do this program live every couple times a year. And it was the Jumpstart Your Biz in 90-day program. And it was $4,000 when I did it live with a group of people, and then it would record. And then I finally just boxed the last one up and left it, online for sale. And I would sell it for $2,000 online as a do-it-yourself thing. And then one day I said, well, I need to write my system book. And I'm like, well, duh, I have this program. Like, I'll just transcribe it. And so I did. I transcribed it. And then I just kind of finessed around it, right? And took out all the fluff and all the other extraneous stuff that didn't need to be there. And that was my system book. So that was pretty cool. So now I have my storybook and my system book, which are the 2 books I recommend everybody has at some point, your storybook and your system book. Okay. And then I can get talks on both of those types of books. Now the other ones are just, and then on the compilation books, I do a different topic in every book. I don't tell the same story in every book, because that would be silly. Because if I have a new client, for example, a coaching client, I'm going to send them like 3 or 4 different books, and they're going to get different aspects of myself and my training in those books. I'm not going to send them 3 books with the same story because that'd be silly, right? So think about how you can give variety in these books that you might do as well. Any questions so far? And then I'll jump back. Anything that's burning? No, you guys good? Is this good so far? Are you all right? Okay. All right, good.
Great.
Awesome. Okay. So then pick which type of book to write, right? So I was just talking about your story and your system book. Here's all kinds of books. I have some clients who want to write a cookbook. I have like health coaches, and I've had personal chef clients before who want to write cookbooks, right? Lots of people want to write journals. Journals can be a great complimentary book. It's a simple book to do too, by the way, because you could put like a quote on every page, some blank lines, and boom, you're done. Like, right? I'm like, that's a quick book to do, you guys. A quote book. Go find 50 of your favorite quotes, put one on every page, really big and bold with an image next to it. Boom, you're done. You have 50 of your favorite quote books. I mean, I know some of you think, well, that seems kind of silly. Who would want that? But people actually buy quote books. They do. And so like all of these could sell. This happens to be like 6 of one of my clients. She has actually 7 books now, but this is just an image I took from her website because these are all her books because they're a variety. She has a children's book. She has a training for educators. She has her staging book, which is her system book. She doesn't have her a storybook yet. I should get on her for that. Okay. But there's so many different kinds of how-to tip books, your system, your memoir, compilation book as a chapter I've talked about, but not as a host. So Colleen is the host of a compilation book. And let me just tell you, that can be a very good monetizable business model, right? If you charge someone anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000 and you have 20 authors times $2,000 is 40 grand that you get, right? Now you got to pay some people to help get the book done, but it's not as much as you think. And honestly, it's a good business model. So I tell people all the time, especially if they have a good following, if you got to have a good, you want to have at least 10 people in your book, ideally. And you don't want to undercharge. So yeah, it's a good business model.
Katrina, Mary had a quick question.
Oh, yeah.
And her question was, what is the shortest book? What would you say the type of book that's the shortest book that you could write?
Well, a tips book or a quote book is the shortest book, probably.
Oh, I was totally right. And I didn't even know if I would be, Mary, but I put that in the chat. I said, I think it's the tips or the quote, but we should probably ask Katrina.
Yeah, because so this is one of my clients' books, Jennifer Darling, and she has 52 tips for sales success, right? For LinkedIn. She's a LinkedIn and sales trainer. It is this teeny little square thing, right? Teeny. Okay. And it's just, it looks like this in the middle. It's literally tips, right? I mean, all of you could probably come up with that in a day. In a day, you think about all the tips with the topic that you talk on or that you teach on, and voila, there you go. Now, the key is to find the right format, right? So like this book is a 6x9, whereas this one is a 5.5 by 8.5. And this one is like a 4x4 or something. And so there's different publishers and different ways to publish these books in different ways. So yeah.
There's a lot of questions going on in the chat if you want
Okay.
to cruise over there and look at them, because Mary then asked about the pages and then it just keeps going from there.
Okay, let's see. Most people, well, you guys can unmute.
Yeah, you guys can unmute if you want.
It's probably faster
Be
than
careful what you ask her.
ask.
I'm in the room.
Well, Trisha, you stay muted. Everyone else can unmute.
I'm gonna stay muted.
So Mary asked about the pages, and there are some tricks to pages.
So,
I do know Katrina's talked about.
Yeah, so the minimum number of pages in a larger book, like a 5.5 or 8 or a 6x9, is if you want a spine that has writing on it. If you want a spine that has writing on it, you need 96 pages in book pages. We're talking book pages, not word pages. Okay, it's about probably 24,000 words, I'm guessing, because I think this one is, I don't know exactly. I can look at the manuscripts that I have and see how many words they are, because you go by words really, because when you're writing in Word, right? And so when you're writing in Word, you're thinking, oh, I have 100 pages, but 100 pages in Word, single spaced or even double spaced, is going to be totally different in book pages, right? So you go by words, and then we can estimate how many words. Usually you're like 1.5 space lines on in the inside of the book, right? And you've got some formatting to do. So you have, your chapter heads, and you've got a lot of space usually between chapters and things like that. So there's you don't have the real answer to the question is stop worrying about how many pages and just write. Stop it.
Just get the book started.
Exactly. Just write. I had one client the beginning of the year last year, when she started with me, she wrote a chapter in my compilation book. It was Jumpstart Your Caregiving. Okay. Caregiving skills. And so I said, and when she was going to write about it, I said, I don't know, just start writing. And she would write and write and write and write. And she said, now I have like 100 pages, because she like wrote all this stuff. And I'm like, great, now you have your own book too. Yay. Okay. So now we just have to take out the meat for the chapter and then go finish the rest of your own book, because you just went and wrote. That's great. Right. So what's to say? So yeah. Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
Go ahead, Melissa.
So along my brand would be writing certain books, but is it okay to write additional books with my name on it, like fun adventure books and things as well? Or does that look weird?
No, I think anything that you feel called to write would be good, because it gets people to get to know, like, and trust you. I would just say, make sure you keep in touch with the marketing side of that, and make sure you put some pages in the front or the back where they get to know what else you do. Right. And then, so yeah. And then maybe at some point, depending on the books you write, you might need a different book website for some things, because they might not be in brand. I don't know. We could if you get a lot of books, then you maybe do an author website with your various books, and then link to them from your regular business website. So thinking of how to position yourself online with it might be a different story. And that's one of the things that you have to look at, right? When you're looking at everything and how it all flows together. Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead, Lori.
I don't know if you're comfortable sharing this, Katrina, but can you give us an idea of what we should expect cost-wise to have? I'm thinking to have you as a publisher.
Yeah.
And does marketing come with that? Like, what all comes when we have you do it?
Right. So a few years ago, I started helping people with books, because everybody needs a book, right? And I was starting to get so many books. I'm like, and all my clients were asking me about book stuff, and I could tell them what to do. So I did create jumpstartpublishing.net. So jumpstartpublishing.net is the publishing arm of my company. And there's a free audio over there if you guys want to go grab it. But I designed the services over there to be very flexible, because I know that authors come to me in many different formats. Some people come with the book, like I said, and then we just need to look through it real quick and make sure it has the right marketing and sales stuff. And then all they need are the resources for the editors, the cover design, and they need to know how to put it up on KDP and get it printed, right? So I can teach that. I can teach someone that, and you can do it yourself, and that's lower of an investment. In fact, I have an online training that teaches it. I already taught that in a 30-day online training, actually, the beginning of last year. So I have an online training for a few $100. I have, if you want that, and then maybe a couple calls with me, it might just be another $1,000 or something, to have a couple calls with me to clarify where the holes are on what you need, and show you exactly a little bit more what to do. Or you just say, I want everything done. Well, that might be anywhere from $5,000 to $12,000. It just kind of depends. I have no idea unless I talk to you. And I'm all about the most affordable way to build your business. Everything I do in my business coaching is like that. And I despise the people who are so freaking expensive. I know someone who charges $40,000 to get your book done. That's ridiculous. That's just ridiculous. I would never do that, because I think that's just overpriced. And now, if they're going to do $40,000 because they're going to get you on the Today Show and across the country, and you're going to be flying across the country and all this stuff. And first of all, do you have the money to do that? Because that's on your dime usually, right? And so it's a different story if that's what's included. But no, I don't do PR with it. I don't do publicity with it. I can show you what to do with PR because I've done it, and I have press releases, and I can do press releases and stuff like that. But it depends what your goals are, right? So it goes back to your goals. My goals for lead generation. Most of the books I write, it's just for lead generation, marketing, and sales, right? If you really want to get into the Today Show and the Wall Street Journal and all these other things, then you're going to probably need a publicist. And so I can introduce you to a publicist or something like that. But if your goal is just to get more clients and make more money, then I got you covered. Like, I know how to do that. So
Mary, did you have a question? Because you're unmuted. I just wanted to double check.
No, I love Katrina. She really knows her stuff.
Yeah, I want to also this is probably the ideal time to say this, and Katrina didn't know I was going to bring this up, but I hired Katrina, and I do not have time. You all know that I run this huge organization. I have other businesses that I run. The last thing I have is time, but I have money. So I hired the people that I need to hire to be able to help me. I have an event planner planning my 3-day event for August 11th. I couldn't have done it without her. I have Katrina who's doing the book. She just has the knowledge, and where she has the knowledge, because I've been in compilation books before, and now I'm doing my own compilation book. The last compilation book I did, we paid. I was happy to pay the money to be part of it. I wanted to be a published author. There was guidance in editing, and then the book launch day. That was it. No other guidance. Katrina does like 8 to 10 calls with you and who else is in your book with you. If you have, if you want to do your own compilation book, she'll do a lot of calls with you and coaching. What she does the best that I've never seen, and again, this is just coming from what everyone has experienced being in my book. Trisha's actually in my book and she's on the line. She helps you understand what you need to put in your chapter so that you lead people back to you. Her goal is for you to generate leads, to make more sales, to make more money, right? So everything that we're doing in every chapter is to lead people back to you. So she even gives you examples and helps you and has resources for people to build a web page for you, what that web page should look like, what you should have on the web page. She even helped me. I have like 1,000 downloadables for free, right? I've been doing this for a long time and I was like, well, I don't know. What am I supposed to give away for a freebie? And she helped me figure that out and write it in my chapter so that I could create it and have a separate page to drive people back to it. So I have learned so much about generating even more leads and marketing myself and my community through this. So that to me is probably the biggest piece, because a book, if you just write a book and become a published author and do nothing with it, it sits behind you like mine does back here, and you really don't do anything with it, right? I got to know the authors and that was great. This book that I'm writing now that we're releasing on August 11th, which by the way, we decided to release on the first day of the 3-day event. Why? It's the best marketing opportunity because you have 200 people in a room that you're going to be marketing the book to go buy and help you for 99 cents create a #1 bestseller campaign, right? So all these tiny marketing things that we're doing are essential for you to utilize this book ongoing, for it to be an ongoing marketing opportunity for you. And I think that's, to me, I don't have the time. And when you invest in someone, that brings you so much more money on the back end. And if you're doing a compilation book, especially in charging people, I look at it like this. Hey, we're pooling all of our money together to pay for this. And we all need it paid for, right? Because we don't have the time to do it. We don't have the knowledge to do it. So let's pay someone like Katrina to do it for us. And then we get to all, have all of the benefits from it on the back end. So that's just coming from me and why I'm so excited about Katrina, why I asked her to be in my book. Now she's doing the book for us and she's in my book because I believe in her that much. So you don't have to cry, yes. Katrina.
And a lot of authors, especially newer authors, you just don't know what you don't know. You don't know and the majority of them don't even think to put links to their website, like I said. And and they might be good marketers and making money on their business, but when they write the book, it just goes out of their head that they need to do that. Like, so you need sometimes a second set of eyes, right? And so somebody was asking about publishers. There's a lot of publishers out there. There's a lot of people that can help you. First of all, you don't need a publisher. You can be your own publisher. That's self-publishing, right? My first book, where did it go? So the Love Yourself Successful book, I had a publisher because I was where Colleen was, where I just need to get my book done. I don't have time. I'm focusing on getting clients. You do the book. And so I paid someone $6,000 to get that book done. And then I ended up hiring an outside cover designer because I didn't like their covers and all that. But somebody else put all of that book together because I had no time and no idea what to do, right? And so I just paid at that point. And then when it came time to do my own next full book, the system book, I said, I don't want to pay someone $6,000. Let me learn because I think I'm going to be doing more books. And so I learned, I paid one of my publisher friends for 2 hours of her time. And she showed me the back end of KDP. She showed me some stuff. She told me the things, gave me some resources, and then I was off and running, right? And so this book literally cost me $1,200 to get done. Besides, actually, no, that's not true. I paid one of my assistants to transcribe and compile the book first. But then beyond that, it cost me like $1,200 because of the cover design, the editing, the proofreading, and the layout, right? But I did it myself, and I just put my company name on the copyright and my company name on Kindle and all that kind of stuff. That was before I created Jumpstart Publishing. So it was just Case Sawa Marketing International Inc. Like, who the hell cares, right? So it doesn't matter. You can still publish like that. So you could do that. You just don't make it look like you did your own book, please. Okay, so I've seen some really, really bad covers, really bad. If your cover does not pop, it will not sell. No one will want it. So do not skimp so hard that it looks like you did it yourself. Does that make sense? So you got to spend a little bit to get it done. I can teach you a little bit what to do, but you're going to spend a few $1,000 like to get a book done, whether you do it yourself and you learn how, or you pay a publisher. Now, most publishers out there are a minimum of $6,000. And a lot of them go up to 12. Like I said, it's because it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time in the back end. It takes a lot of time to read through and to make sure and help you and do the calls that we need to help push you along on the writing, right? Because that's the hardest part, is the writing part. And then understanding your business enough to help and advise you on some of the key things to the marketing, and if you need a book web page or a funnel, or you want to do a book launch. I mean, I've done like 6 Amazon bestseller campaigns now, and all have gone to international bestseller status, right? And so I know how to do those, and some people don't care about those. You don't have to have that. And that's just an extra expense. So if you don't care about that status, then it doesn't matter, right? So there's a lot of little pieces that you could and may not do. It just depends. Got it? So publisher wise though, like somebody asked about Itty Bitty, that's Susie Pruden. She's a client of mine too. And we've spoken on each other's events and stages, and she's amazing. I have an Itty Bitty book. It's on the end. It's the Itty Bitty Book of Words. And so Itty Bitty is fine if you like that format. I'm not a big fan of that for my own book because all the books look the same in the front. I'm not a fan of that style. But some people, that's fine. And they want a shorter book that's just 15 pages. It's like 30-page book. It's super simple. And she has a template and she makes it as easy as possible. So if you like that, great. If you like the square books, I'll introduce you to Elizabeth, my friend who publishes these books, because I don't do the square books, right? So there's a plethora of options is my point, but you got to at least come and figure out what you're going to do first. And then where do you need to go and what do you need to learn, right? That's just what it comes down to. Okay, let's see. I have a couple more slides here. And then, so after you determine what kind of book you want to write, then you got to figure out some kind of timeline, which, when Colleen started doing her compilation book, it was the second compilation book I've done. And so I had to figure out the timeline. Like it's a new business model for me as well as, so I worked with her, like she worked with me knowing I hadn't done a lot of these yet, like for other people. I've done them for myself. So I had to come up with all the stuff that she needs and her people need. So, you know, we worked together to make that happen. But you need due dates and a timeline to keep people on track so they can write their stuff and submit their bios and their headshots and get their pages done, their web pages. And then now we're in editing, right? We're in editing stage where the authors are reviewing their final chapters, and then we have to get the book up on KDP, and there's certain time frames that they take, and so you have to wait for them, and there's just a lot of things. These are the basic things you need to do within getting a book done, right? And then some of your marketing and big picture goals. So this is just a snapshot of some of the things that that you might need to do or want to do. You might want to get some speaking gigs lined up before, during, and after the book. Bestseller launch. Do you want to write more books? Do you want a membership model after this? Do you want a live event around it? Do you want a press release? Do you want a book signing tour? Do you want a book party? I had a book party when my Love Yourself Successful book came out in 2012, and I invited all my local friends and took pictures, and it was fun. It was the thing to do when you have your own first book. It's like the thing you want to do. Now I could care less about having a book party. No one would come anyways. Nobody comes to my barbecues, for God's sakes. They're not going to come to my book launch party. I don't know what it is, but like no one wants to come to a party anymore. Anywho, do your best. Do your best to get some local coverage and stuff. You could even try to get into Barnes and Noble, but if you do that and you really want to get into Barnes and Noble in person or other bookstores, you have to go a different route than Amazon. So a lot of people don't know that, and so it's complicated. I don't want to get into that at the moment. You might want to create a companion workbook series. I have all kinds, and it ups the price of your book then. So if you have a book and a workbook that goes with it and a journal, I have one client who has all three, and you could sell that for like $79 instead of a $15 book, right? So you got to think about the pieces of it all and what's next and what could you do? Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Social media positioning, new website or pages. These are all the things that you got to think about when you're doing a book as well. Create your to-do list, break your bigger tasks down, get your priorities set. You want to calendarize some things. You know, you can really get organized. This is getting organized. You got to get organized or your book will not get done. What you may need to set up, like I said, website, blog, online profiles. You might need a shopping cart if you don't have one now to sell your book. Right? And you don't just want to send people off to Amazon because then they're not getting on your email list. You want them on your email list. You want to buy them a book from your website, frankly. Okay. You can also send them to Amazon for those people who don't know you and don't trust your site yet, maybe, but yeah. Social media. These are just some clips that I took. You might know Hal Elrod. He's a friend. He does the Miracle Morning. And I just took some snapshots from some people's social media positioning. This is an image that I created for one of our book launches with one of the authors and her chapter title. I know both of these people, and Bo's first. That's just little clips of things I found. How to write and organize your content. These are all the things you got to write, right? Back cover copy is what you write first. What you write first is your back cover copy, because this is what people read in order to decide if they want your book, right? So this is what is this book about and why should I care? Why should I buy it? Why should I read it? This is what the book is about. And so you want to write that first, like it's the purpose, it's the promise of the book. And then your main content chapters, author page, your bio, your story, your copyright page. The foreword, do you want a foreword? Do you want a dedication? Do you want an acknowledgements page? Call to action and next steps. This was an example, this picture of one of the books that I have on my bookshelf, and a really fun way to showcase at the end of every chapter something that they can do. Think outside the box. These were like call to action steps, right? That she did in a really fun way. This is the formatter would create that kind of design inside the book. It's an inside designer, not an outside book cover, but inside designers are different and not your regular graphic design. So don't hire a graphic designer who has not done book design, please. ancillary pages to promote other stuff, photos, illustration, quotes. You can actually, if you write a book that's not so long and you want to make it bigger, put big photos in there. They're going to be black and white, or quotes or something like that, or illustrations to take up space and fluff the book out a little bit, or increase the font size, or put two spaces between each line instead of 1.5 or 1. So there's all kinds of stuff you can do. And then, like, this is something that I did in my first book too. And I have printed order forms when I go to live events, whether I'm a speaker or an attendee. I can sell my book at live events with printed order forms. I know we have the stripey thing, but it doesn't necessarily get people into your system. This is how everything has to flow together. You need people to get into your regular email system, your regular shopping cart, where all your database is. So all the auto emails and auto responders will go. Don't just swipey on your what you call it? What the hell is it called? The little thing that's on your phone. You know what I'm talking about. Don't just take the money and have it go into your bank account, but not the person
your
into
Square?
your system. Yeah, you're like a Square or something. That is not the efficient way to sell books if you really want to build the business around your books. It gets the money, but you can get the money this way too. It's a little bit more manual labor, but that's why you hire an assistant. This was something that I have as a huge poster that I take to live events, and I put it on display tables and stuff. And it has my 3 biggest testimonials on the poster, right? Endorsements. And then there's the marketing. You got to get in front of more people by speaking and social media. Make it easier for people to buy your book. Have it on your website and have a page that says my book, right? Have it on your homepage. Buy my book. You got people sometimes bury their stuff on their website, and it's not easy for people to find. Okay. I'm going to go. This is a funny picture. So James Mountek, he was one of my mentors. I hired him. And like one time I signed up for one of his events just because I was his client. I got to, and this is what he sends. No, I'm sorry. I bought his book that came out. He has written so many books, and many of them are like, you're thinking like a quote book. Yeah, they're useless, but he's got all these books, but he just kind of throws them together to, some of them are good and some of them are just lame. But the point is that when I bought his book, this is what he sent me in the mail. It was like this big box of junk, like a whole bunch of junk that you don't need. Please don't do this. Okay. This is what not to do when sending your book out. Cause I think it's overkill. He's got like
a nail file?
Yeah, 2 nail files, a letter opener, a keychain, 3 little sticky notepad thingies, okay, with little sticky notepads, 3 pieces of paper, one that looks like he actually did write it, but I can't imagine it was him, but whatever. If it is, great that he wrote that letter. And then, of course, a flyer for his next event, which is good marketing, always be marketing, right? And a little thing to come to his next event for free. So you do want to put some marketing in. This is more like what I send with my book. So I'll send a book. I'll send maybe a quick tip sheet of some content. So it's like a little piece of content that they get some tips, and then some testimonials. I always send testimonials, and my business card, and in a bubble envelope, right? Nowadays, I send my little stop it button sometimes, or I have other little tchotchkes and stuff that I send, but I always send some kind of flyer and marketing pieces. Don't just send the book, you guys. And people forget about this. I see it all the time, right? So yeah, if you want help, I have some ways that you can get some help. I put the links in the chat already. This is the free call. So if you want even more information, this was kind of like, today was like why do you want to write a book? And here's some reasons why. And this is a little bit about what you need to know. But the publishing info call actually goes into depth of like the difference between the self-publishing, the hybrid publishing, and the full publishing, and how are all those different, and what the costs are, and things like that. So you're welcome to go and check that out. You can also come to I have an event that is probably only going to be like 15 people, because I really only want people that are going to really be serious about getting a book done. And I did it because I have a lot of clients who have books in the works, but they're not working on it. And I'm like, well, I always host events for my clients. And then if anybody else comes, great. Like that's so I just making it as affordable as possible for anybody who wants to come. It'd be $4.97. It's $6.97 on the website, but you guys can use the coupon code here and get $200 off. It's not till the end of August, but you want to sign up now because I'm only going to take about 15 people because I really want to talk to every single person in the call like we're doing today and say, okay, what are you writing about? This is what you need to do. And it's going to be like a working day kind of thing. Okay, go write the 10 things they need to know, and those are going to be your chapters. And then I'm going to talk with the next person and tell them what to do, and then I talk to the next person, and we're going to keep working on the book all day long and all the different things people are at, whether they've already written it or not. I'm going to talk about their next steps like Kindle and how to upload and all these different things, categories, Amazon launches. So that'll be a really fun event. And you get that online training program that I was telling you before for free when you sign up for this, which is actually $497 in itself. So you'll get two things for the price of one. If you sign up for the book writing event, you'll get the online training that you can do now. Until then you're going to be even more up to speed. And so we can really get this shit done on the 30th of August. So that's my goal with it, is to sign up now so you can do the program now. And then, yeah. So
You also made a good point, and you said if you're going to do a book, don't have it come out and release in like November or December, because then in January it's always a book that you did last year, even though it could have been 4 weeks ago.
yes.
So I was like, I never thought about that. So smart. So if you want to get on the calendar with Katrina to get a book, launched in the beginning of 2022, this takes a while to get this done. Like I think our timeline was like 6 months, but it takes a while. I dropped the link in there again. Katrina, do you want to drop? I even mentioned to everyone to drop their contact information if they wanted, to reach out to you or to talk to you. But it'd be great if you had an email address or something you could drop in there for them to reach out to you individually as well, or however you'd like to do that.
Yeah, I'll put a little link in here to sign up for a call.
So we're wrapping up. We only have about 3 minutes left. And I went ahead and dropped all of her links in there. I dropped the link in for next week, July 20th. We've got Jill Lublin's doing guerrilla publicity, getting known everywhere. She's the PR expert, right? So these are great hand in hand because she's going to tell you need a book. She's not going to tell you how to write a book. She's going to give you people that can do it like Katrina. But you know what I'm saying? So she's going to tell you how to get PR everywhere for yourself, how to be seen, be heard, and be visible even more. So, beyond Lead Up for Women, the promotions that we do. I've taken her crash course class. I've worked with Jill and hired her. And that's how I learn a lot of what I've learned to bring back to my own clients. So she's going to be a great asset. And Katrina, wasn't she amazing today, you guys? Katrina's awesome. Thank you so much, Katrina, for all of your help today and everything that you brought to the Teaching Tuesday and teaching us what we need to do. And for all of you, save the chat if you haven't already. Make sure you get registered for next week's Teaching Tuesday. We'll see you there. And connect with Katrina. This is a great opportunity for you to get connected with her at a great deal. So I want to prompt all of you to do that. If you're looking to get a book out, this is the time to do it. So Katrina, thank you so much.
Thanks, you guys.
All right, you guys have a wonderful week. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.